Howdy y'all, welcome to Cooking Cowboy channel. We got an interesting video about pallets for the Cooking Cowboy channel. Let's get to it. Alrighty, some of y'all may be wondering, what do pallets have to do with cooking? And not really too much with the cooking, like seasoning. We're not going to grind up the 2x4s or the planks here to get any seasoning out of them. It'd be interesting, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to be sawing these up. I use these for my firewood for cooking the food. And the reason being because firewood is very expensive here in Los Angeles. And trying to find any in stores or finding someone that sells any kind of firewood, it is expensive, very expensive. I don't live in a rural area to be able to have inexpensive firewood or harvest my own, so I have to get it from somewhere. What I do is I drive around industrial areas and I find pallets that are being thrown out by warehouses, manufacturers, the alleyways of strip malls, small businesses. It costs money to send these things back or have them fixed. Sometimes it'll be missing some planks, or a 2x4 will be broken and they'll be just banged up, and they're perfect to cut up to use as firewood for cooking over a campfire. So I really enjoy using pallets. I'm going to be cutting these up and I'll have you all be seeing the process so y'all can see what I do with them. It really makes it inexpensive to cook over a fire, because it does get very, very expensive if you live in a metropolitan area such as myself to cook over a campfire. Several things to consider. Make sure that you are finding pallets that are being thrown away, not recycled, because at that point it's stealing. Also, in some areas such as my area, there are certain districts that it's illegal to burn wood. If you're caught cooking over a fire, you can either get a ticket or arrested. And that is true. I'm not lying about that. You are not allowed to burn wood of any sort in some areas around my place. So I do check that. I am in a very small spot that I can burn wood. So thank goodness, because I want to. It really adds flavor, in my opinion, to the food. Cooking over campfire, just the smoke. But also to mention, do not get wood that has been stained, painted. Now, yes, I do realize that some of these things have been pressure treated, but I'm not putting this in the food. I'm not too worried about pressure treated wood, as long as it doesn't have a lot of the chemicals oozing out of it. If you see that stuff, I would not recommend that at all. Probably for a disclaimer, if you see that's been pressure treated, don't use that, even just to cover myself for legal reasons. So, but this is what I do. I'm just saying what I do. I'm not saying you have to do any of this, but it's what I do with the pellets. I cut all this stuff up with my skill saw. What I normally do, I do some different cuts for different fire pits I've had, but I normally cut along this side, cut down along the support. I don't cut in here because there's nails. I don't even take the nails out. I used to do that, and that's such a pain. It really is. And I cut along here, and then I'll cut the 2x4 eventually once I'm done cutting all the planks. And that way I have a lot of firewood of different shapes, and it creates a nice little mound of fire to get things nice and hot. Again, I'm not necessarily trying to cook over the flame. What I'm trying to do is cook over heat. So I do a lot of burning of the wood, and it gets a lot of hot embers in there, a lot of hot charcoal going, and it really gets hot. So it's not necessarily just the wood burning that heats up the cast iron skillet that I use. So I will start cutting this. I will video this for y'all, show y'all what I do, and y'all see what the end result will be. See y'all in a bit. Alrighty, all the wood is cut up, ready for fires. Now I will use it for both cooking, but also with hanging out with my best friend. We sit out by the campfire for hours on end, and it's an amazing time. I always have a blast with her. We're actually going to be doing that tonight, so I have the campfire all set. That'll be later this evening, but I have a lot of wood stacked up for both campfires for hanging out, but also for cooking. So I'm super excited for all of those, and I'm just really excited to see my best friend tonight. But everything's all swept up, everything's done except for I did unfortunately have to get rid of my skill saw because it started smoking and it's finished. It went kaputs. And so I have others. There's no worry about that. I do have other skill saws. Nothing wrong with that. I've had this one. It's over 20 years old. I've had it a long time. Used it a lot. So it's going to be going in the trash can, unfortunately. But everything is all set. One thing though, I would note for a lot of pallets, such as the ones that I had, I found out they were salvaged more than I first expected. So that means they had a lot of nail particles in there that didn't have the head of the nail, so you can't pull them out. And I was starting to hit those with the saw a little bit. That's not the reason it died on me. It's been going out on me for a little while, but today it finally died. For the little nail particles, I don't like hitting those with the saw because it starts chucking them out sometimes on the weaker parts of the pallet. So what I did is I busted out as many as I could with the heel of my cowboy boots, and then some of the bigger ones I just tilted it on a corner and I start pounding it on the ground. You grab one end so it looks like a diamond shape, and you start pounding on the ground. It'll start to bow down, and then you flip it to where it looks like a triangle going, diamond going upwards, and you start banging it that way, and it'll start blowing out the other direction, and the nails will start to pop out, and then the pieces will start falling off left and right, and you just have to finagle the last couple pieces to prime apart. But that works really well. I've done that multiple times. It's worked for me as long as you get a lot of the pieces out first. So that's what I did at the end. Everything's great, everything's swept up, all is good. So plenty of wood for cooking over the campfire, and also hanging out with my best friend, a lot of wood for that. And I'm very excited for hanging out with my best friend tonight. So that's the end of the video. I'm excited for the next videos, and I'll see y'all in the next one.